Teacher, is my son gay? The DPP is doing these things that go against family values, and now even colleagues can get married. What if my son becomes gay in the future? How can two men sleep together? Hello everyone. Whether it's in our courses, on the blog, or in our fan group, we often get asked one particular question, especially after Taiwan passed the special law for same-sex marriage 2 years ago. All right, so we often get asked this question. Teacher, now that same-sex couples can get married, what if my son turns out to be gay in the future? Look at this. The DPP is doing things that go against the natural order, and Taiwan is going to be destroyed. Since ancient times, everything has had both yin and yang. How can two men sleep together? How can two women sleep together? This is such a terrible thing. Oh, is the country really going to be destroyed? Will it? Of course not. If something like this could destroy a country, then a country would be way too easy to destroy. And if passing a law could make your son become gay, then before there was such a law, why didn't your gay neighbor, old Wang, turn straight, right? This is what we often say. Many times people don't use logic to think about whether something actually makes sense. We often rely on some very outdated, even people use these completely unreasonable ideas to discuss the world and this issue, like saying that only a man and a woman have been able to marry since ancient times. Let me briefly explain something to you. Did you know that during the Han Dynasty, emperors and men from the Lin family, well, the emperor couldn't use the surnames Pu or Wan, but men with the surname Lin, these relationships were legitimate, open, and even recorded in historical texts, and they were quite famous too. Who were the ones who fought the Xiongnu on the battlefield and then came home to be with the emperor? Wei Qing and Huo Qubing. Both of them are clearly recorded in historical texts as Emperor Wu of Han's male favorites. But would you say Emperor Wu of Han was homosexual? Of course not. So why did Emperor Wu of Han have relationships with Wei Qing and Huo Qubing? That's just how it was. Is it just camaraderie between men? When men are very close emotionally, they might want to give it a try. In every dynasty, in every era, there are always certain cultural elements and changes. If you look at the past from today's perspective, that era seems strange. If you look at today from the past, this era seems strange too. It's like when we talk about the Tang dynasty or the Wei Jin and northern and southern dynasties, a lot of things happen that seem unbelievable to us now. But in reality, both of these dynasties had nomadic bloodlines in their backgrounds. And as for nomadic peoples, when it comes to marriage between men and women, things were never that clear-cut to begin with. Plus, because of their environment, if a father went out hunting and died, there might be a young stepmother left at home. If the son didn't take care of her, how would she survive? So marrying his father's wife was actually a traditional custom in that era and environment. So if you look at it from a modern, astonished perspective, if you use an ancient perspective to look at modern events or use modern perspectives to judge ancient matters, it's like using a Ming dynasty sword to behead a Qing dynasty official, right? Isn't that ridiculous? That's why when Stephen Chow acts it out, you laugh for ages. So now when you realize you have this kind of thinking, don't you find yourself funny? So we really don't need to know what the actual situation was. The same goes for issues related to homosexuality. Many traditional fortune tellers are definitely quite opposed to it because they believe the world is made up of yin and yang. But I also have to say this. If someone talks like that, it just means they don't even understand the basic logic of fate studies or the fundamentals of yin-yang theory. What is yin and yang? How is the Taiji diagram drawn? The Taiji diagram is a circle like this. What does this mean? It means there is yin within yang and yang within yin. In other words, what does this actually mean? The so-called concept of yin and yang, in fact, was always like this from the start. There is yang within yin and yin within yang. So if you have even a little understanding of what is called homosexuality, you'll know that actually the spectrum is divided into many segments. It's not as simple as most people think. If a man loves another man, does that mean that man must be the C type? Or if a woman loves another woman, does that mean she must be even more muscular than I am? Absolutely not. There are very delicate feminine women who are deeply attracted to other equally delicate feminine women. This kind of situation also exists. So can you really tell just by looking at appearances whether someone is gay or not? Of course, there have always been many traditional arguments about this, but this is something we keep emphasizing to everyone. When interpreting a natal chart, you can't ignore real-life circumstances. What the chart shows is simply how people in ancient times recorded their observations and beliefs. They combined observations of people's physical characteristics with their observations of the environment and the cycles of time and space, and then drew conclusions from these. But when making these inferences, You can't ignore real-life situations. In other words, what a natal chart truly discusses is actual influence. What is the real situation? You can't just look at it from a worldly perspective. So when we discuss this topic, often, many people, when it comes to fate analysis, people often wonder, hey, why does this school interpret homosexuality this way? And that school says it should be seen that way. But sometimes when I use the method from this school, it's accurate. But when I use the other school's method, it's not. Sometimes this method works, sometimes it doesn't. Actually, a big reason for this is fortune telling is a lot like blind men feeling an elephant. Our eyes are covered and we can only use a tiny bit of information, maybe just one hand, to try to understand an unknown world. One master touches the elephant's leg. So to him, the elephant is a round pillar, thick and round. Another master touches the elephant's trunk. Wow. To him, the elephant is like a python. Everyone has a different perspective. So how can we truly know the real situation of that unknown world? That means we absolutely have to take off the blindfold and truly see what the real world actually and genuinely is. Only then can we truly make good and accurate judgments. Traditionally, many people would often say, for example, that the heart must have the 5 elements, and the elements that are yin should be placed in a man's birth chart. For example, Zi Wei, which is yin earth, should be placed in a man's chart. Then it might work. Or take Tai Yin, which is yin, and put it in a man's chart. This is the most commonly mentioned. Or the sun, which is metal and yang fire, should be placed in a woman's chart, and it should be in a prosperous position. This is what people often hear. But in reality, I have to tell everyone, arguments like these are like the blind men feeling the elephant, because you're only discussing part of the whole picture. All right, next, let's not get into whether, for example, all the officials in the Han and Wu dynasties would be considered homosexuals, or that in the Ming and Qing dynasties, women couldn't become so only men could be That's why we see in the movie Farewell, My Concubine. So after Leslie Chung finishes performing, he might still have to go to Pei Junfa. Does that kind of situation count as being gay? Or does it only count if 2 people are in love? So which one actually counts? That's why we first need to clarify exactly which stage you're referring to. If you think that mind, body, and spirit all need to be able to accept your partner as being gay, then do we need to consider his body, mind, and soul as well? Only when all 3 aspects are present does it really count. Otherwise, it's just a simple liking. Maybe it's just wanting to try being with a man, or like when making choices before, even the KMT would say they'd consider trying out the Ferris wheel or whatever else. Basically, humans have all kinds of fantasies about sex. So does it really count if it's just physical? I think everyone would agree that since it's called love, and the character for love has a heart underneath, it must be a matter of the heart, right? So if in my heart I like men, well, a lot of men, when they see a really masculine guy, they also think, wow, this guy is super handsome. How can someone be so handsome? You might feel refreshed just by seeing him, but if you were asked to sleep with him, you'd say, oh no, I don't want to. It's enough just to admire him from afar, right? So you let your body be unfortunate so that your heart can feel good, and we all might act like that sometimes. So actually, both body, mind, and spirit can experience this kind of situation. And also, are you willing to break social norms and actually go through with something like this? So what about the natal chart? Which houses in the natal chart correspond to these things? What does the body represent? What does the body represent? The body actually has 2 meanings, okay? As for the body, when you talk about using your body, that of course refers to sexual behavior. So you look at the children house. And what else? The house of extreme evil. And what about the mind? What does the mind represent? Well, it's your view on love. So the spouse house. And what else? The fortune and virtue house represents your soul. All right, so these four houses, and of course, the life house governs all 12 houses, so the life house should also be taken into consideration, right? The appearance house should also be considered. So all these houses need to show some different signs. What do I mean by different signs? For example, my way of having sex is different from others. Since I want to be different from everyone else, doesn't that mean I need to be a bit braver, a bit more open to change, and feel that the usual ways just aren't enough for me? If I need to be braver, that's naturally the direction of the killing star. If I feel the usual ways aren't enough and I want some change, then that's the transforming star. All right, and it's the same for the other palaces as well. If I want to break through in the way I handle relationships, or if I want to break through in how I use my body, or if my inner soul needs something different, Even my values need to be able to satisfy me. Okay, so in terms of my personality, I have different ideas from most people, basically. All of these palaces need to have these kinds of qualities and characteristics. Only then is it possible to construct what we now think of as a gay person. Otherwise, if you know a bit about the gay community, you'll realize that it actually exists on a very broad spectrum, and you don't really need to know exactly where you fall on it. So, do we really need all 4 or 5 of these palaces? To be honest, because the topic of homosexuality is something that has been covered up by society, we actually can't clearly understand what their true inner world is like. They've always been a group oppressed by society, and for a long time, they've existed in such a rigid social environment, like during the Ming and Qing dynasties. They are a group that society cannot accept, so there is less information and fewer resources available about them. So all we can do is, just like we said, take off your blindfold and really look at the reality of the situation. When we truly examine the real circumstances, we can then work backwards from reality to the natal chart to see which palaces should show such signs. And when such significant signs appear, what then? Well, this particular logic isn't exclusively used for our esteemed colleagues. In our very own courses, especially within the more advanced classes, we frequently observe this phenomenon. In the advanced classes, we talk a lot about these concepts. This way you can also avoid having to memorize things, because there are some life experiences you may not have gone through and some life processes you might not fully understand, and what's written in books may not always be applicable. All right, so at this point, how can we break free from the limitations of the ancient texts? What they actually use are real life situations. There should be certain conditions that are notable, and the natal chart should display corresponding signs. All right, so if you manage to gather all of these, it's just like I often say, when you collect all 7 Dragon Balls, Shenron will appear. But what if you can't collect all 7? Then maybe Shenron is just a little snake. So does the little snake count or not? Well, maybe for some people, the little snake counts. So perhaps some individuals naturally feel much more comfortable being around other people of the very same sex. But does that truly mean they are gay? That might not completely and entirely align with our usual understanding. And for them, if he enjoys being with people of the same sex more, and if he's a bit more open-minded, then could he accept, for example, since I enjoy spending time with you more, maybe we could go to the hot springs together naked or something like that, and after the hot springs, maybe even get a little closer. Oh, in that case, maybe he's bisexual. All right, so actually when looking at this, I would suggest everyone consider these 5 positions. Consider these 5 positions. If all 5 positions meet the criteria, then the signs will be very clear. But what if only 4 of them do? If it's 3, then it might not be so clear. If it's just 1 or 2, it could be just like I mentioned earlier. I just prefer to hang out with men. It's more straightforward. All right, so everyone might have situations like this. So can you really tell if someone is gay? With sufficient and extensive experience, along with thorough analysis, you should definitely be able to accurately tell and discern the situation. But do we really need to pursue being able to tell for sure? Usually people ask things like, teacher, is my son gay? What will happen if your son is gay? You should give him your blessing, right? Look, those chickens, no matter where you put them, wherever you put them, if it's placed in the palace of fortune and virtue, then the sixth sense is very strong. If it's in the life palace with a transformation star, he knows how to fulfill his own life. If it's in the children palace, he'll know how to live his own life. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Or sometimes people ask, teacher, my husband hasn't wanted to sleep with me for months. Is he gay? Well, if he really is, otherwise just ask him. Right? You could bless him and now you have a great friend in your life. Wouldn't that be wonderful too? Don't let fate or astrology restrict your life. This is something we've always been talking about. As for my view on homosexuality, that's my standpoint. Also, I want to remind everyone, in the process of studying fate or astrology, all right, there are so many truly significant real-world matters and important issues that we should genuinely strive to understand and comprehend, rather than simply looking at astrology or fate from these overly fixed, rigid, or unyielding perspectives. Thank you very much, everyone.